many friends in Israel. They don't know what happened. They have a president who they actually think Obama hates Israel. I think he does.
That was Donald Trump in late October telling a rally of supporters that he believes President Obama is not a friend to Israel. But that statement could also be applied to another ally of Israel, the European Union. Just this weekend, Israel announced it would suspend contact with EU diplomats working on the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. And yesterday, it warned that it might stop helping the EU's economic projects in the West Bank. Joining me now for more on this and the growing frosty relationships between the two is Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, who's now with us on the phone. Professor Dershowitz, it's great to have you with us.
Well, thank you so much. Look, President Obama does not hate Israel. President Obama has an arm's-length relationship with Israel, not nearly as warm as the relationship that President Bush and President Clinton had, but President Obama has been supportive of Israel in its efforts to protect its own security in relation to Gaza and other places. And they've had disputes about the settlements. They've had disputes about Iran particularly, but I wouldn't call it a relationship characterized by hate. The European Union.
Yeah, let's talk more about that relationship, too. The European
Union.
The
European Union is clearly a hate relationship, and a relationship which clearly tilts way, way against Israel and in favor of the Palestinians. And in fact, it's Europe that has made the Palestinians reluctant to come to the bargaining table. The Palestinian position is this: why do we have to bargain with Israel? Why do we have to negotiate? Why do we have to compromise? We have Europe on our side. We have the EU on our side. They're labeling products from the West Bank. They're essentially singling out Israel among all the countries in the world for special treatment. So we're going to win. We're going to get a state without having to negotiate. And it's, in the end, the European Union is the Palestinians' worst enemy because it's sending a false message that there will be a two-state solution without negotiation. That will never happen. And so I, believe me, understand why Israel is taking the attitude it's taking toward the European Union. You don't allow your enemy to negotiate a peace process with you.
Certainly that seems to be the case. Now, also, speaking of Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel has been carrying out airstrikes periodically in Syria and that Israel would continue coordinating with Russia to prevent an accidental confrontation. Now, do you think Israel will become more involved in Syria's civil war, and should it be?
Well, first of all, Israel has the most right to attack these convoys in Syria, far more than the United States or Russia, because these convoys directly threaten Israel. These are convoys that are sending rockets to Hezbollah to aim at the heart of Israel. So, of course, any country has the right of self-defense. The United States and Russia may have the right to try to topple the Assad regime, in America's case and in Russia's case to try to uphold it. But that's quite distant from Israel's right to protect itself right on its border.
What about the relationship between Israel and Russia?
Well, when the United States has a frosty relationship with Israel, it forces Israel to try to make relations with other countries, whether it be India or China or Russia. You don't pick your friends. Your friends pick you in some ways. And so I think, again, there's an arm's length relationship between Russia and Israel. They both want to avoid the kind of confrontation that resulted in the downing of the Russian jet by Turkey, something that the United States is on the wrong side of. I don't know why the Obama administration is justifying Turkey in shooting down that plane. Look,
well, do you think the president feels somewhat obligated because of NATO?
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you this. Russian planes have also flown over Israeli space. They don't shoot them down. They just warn them and tell them, please, get out of our territory. That's what you do to a non-enemy. Turkey was flexing its muscles, and Erdogan is a psychopath.
It does seem very concerning, especially what happened in Paris today. One last question, Professor Dershowitz, about 30 seconds left to go. Hillary Clinton's new emails out. Some reports indicate that there may be now up to 1,000 emails that may have contained classified data. Do you think there's some point, if there's enough of these coming out, that she might be indicted?
No. Oh, no. To indict, you have to show that it was marked classified, not that later on it became classified. And I think everybody agrees that, as far as we know, there have been no emails that have been marked classified.
All right, Professor Dershowitz, let's take a time out real quick. We got a commercial break coming up that we got to get to, but we're going to come right back. More with Professor Dershowitz after this.